Okay, it says we're live, but let me make sure. I'm seeing them pop up here. Okay, come on now. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. All right, there we are. Whew. Well, I'm here. I'm here. Yay. This is this has been a day. This has been an evening. I tell you what. But I'm here. I'm here because I care and because I am not going to miss a night, even though I'm late and I'm extremely tired and it's been a crazy, crazy couple of days. I'm still here because I love doing this and this is a lot of fun. Tonight is going to be a little bit free for all kind of thing, but I do still want to kind of go with what I usually do, which is starting off with what's going on. Wow. Somebody watching this on replay is going to be like, this guy is a loser. So listen, the reason why I'm late tonight, if you didn't notice the thumbnail, like why is there baseball or softball in the thumbnail? It's because my kid was playing in the playoffs for her varsity softball team. And yesterday in the semis, they won, which meant today they played in the district championships, which is not yet over. And let me see. Well, it's not looking great. It's not looking great right now, but I'm going to keep this up. The high school has an app. You can't see it because of the glare. It's got an app that I can follow along with and make sure things are going well. But it's 7-6 in the top of the 7th, and in high school softball, I don't know if they do it in the collegiate level too, but they play 7 innings. So this is the last inning, and they are losing 7-6. They were down 4-0. And came back and then went down again and then came back and then now they're down again. But, we'll see how it ends. They've got 2 on base right now. So this is not looking good for the end of the game, but, I'll keep you posted on that. So that's why I'm late. I actually left the game at 8:55. We live about 15 minutes from the high school. But there was a huge accident, of course, on the way home. And so it took me even longer to get home. I literally walked in the door to my house at 9:27, and here I am now. So it's been an evening. I got the dogs here with me tonight. They're both here. Hopefully they're not going to cause any trouble. But the reason why I brought them in here is because if I didn't, they were going to be at the door crying because no one else is home, or the people that are home are in their bedrooms. So anyway, these are my babies. So they will be here. They're not going to cause too much trouble. Anyway, okay, you guys lay down. Remember when I showed you a couple of weeks ago the Zis Aqua filters that came in? They sent me a big box of them. I put the box right next to my desk and I put a pillow on it. I'm going to show you. I put a pillow on it and the dogs, they sleep on that. Ike, look. They sleep on the pillow right next to my desk. Yeah, I'm a nerd like that. So anyway, okay, let's get things organized here, John. Good Lord, what are you doing here tonight? So, Kitten Warrior Meow says, I am a cat person, but I don't hate dogs. Well, that's the next thing that we have to talk about. Are we ever going to talk about fish? Yes, of course we are. But our fish room is progressing. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But if you aren't aware yet, Lisa has her own YouTube channel. It's a channel that she never anticipated ever doing anything with, but she decided she was going to upload a video to it. The only reason she has a YouTube channel is so that she can respond to comments on the KG Tropicals channel under her name, because otherwise they would all seem like they were coming from me. So she did that. The name of her channel is Lisa KG Tropicals. Same logo, but pink background, because she's a lady. And so yeah, she was never planning on putting anything up in there, but she decided she was going to change her mind and start putting up videos onto that because this week she has rescued 5 cats. So who was it? Kitten Warrior Meow. You might want to go over to that channel and you might want to check it out because she's put up 2 videos about this, and it's because she rescued these cats and they're absolutely adorable. And if they get home while I'm still streaming, she said she will bring one of the kittens in here, or maybe a couple of the kittens in here, and I can show them to you. But she did a couple of videos showing those kittens and the mother cat. I think she calls her Mommy Kitty. I think that's what she's named her. But yeah, they're in my garage now. That's not going to be their permanent home. She brought them in to make sure that we find good homes for these kittens, and also taking care of the mother because the mother is ailing at the moment and she's young. And the mother cat is the one that Lisa actually cares about the most because she's like, hey, the kittens, they're adorable. Everybody loves kittens. It's going to be no problem finding homes for them. But the mama cat, she's missing an eye. She's got a bum paw. So yeah, that's, finding a home for her might be a bit of a struggle, but hopefully not. So before we get into the fish room deal, I want to shout out a couple of super chats. Yeah, we're doing it out of order, but that's because everything's out of order today. Miss Grumps is not very happy with me right now. And I'm not going to name any names because I just don't want to do that. Just Miss Grumps, understand. I did not do what you think I did to make you mad or anything like that. Those are 2 people that I believe bring a lot to the table, and a lot of people like those 2 channels. You don't, and that's unfortunate. And I'm sorry that things have happened. But it's a shame. I don't know, but thank you for the $10 super chat. It's very difficult to comment on something like that without, saying people's names and stuff like that. But also HV8019 has a $2.99 super chat. Says, hey John, what's your best way to cure Popeye? I've never cured it, never had to. So antibiotics is what I would probably go for, but I could be wrong because I've never had to deal with that. So I'm sorry. I wish I had more information for you, but my name's not Corey McElroy. I'm not as smart as that guy is. Chad Krotz came in with a $5 super chat, said, gotta prep the rack. A belated congrats on the 100K, John and Lisa. Hope you all have a good weekend. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, we talked about that quite a bit last week. You know what's funny about that? I'm not going to go on and on and on. Don't worry, folks. Do we even have anybody watching here tonight? 152. Yeah, I mean, I'm late. People are probably upset with me. 152, that's a really good number for being late and being as disheveled as I am. But the interesting thing about hitting 100,000 subscribers, I don't think I said this last week. Once I hit that, it was almost like, okay, that's cool. I'm really happy about that. I never thought that would happen, but okay. Now we move on. Now to the next one. You know what I mean? So it's almost like, I know this might sound weird, but it's almost like a bummer because for so long we were anticipating 100,000 subscribers. I mean, everybody wants to achieve that. For so long, for years, we were looking at that like, oh, that's going to be so glorious when that finally happens. And when it happens, what do you look forward to then? What happens next? It's like 200,000? Okay, cool. That'll be awesome. 150,000? If we have to wait for 1 million, that's going to be a long, long time. I might not even live to see that. So I don't know. But it is kind of a bummer. It's like, man, what do I look forward to now? I'll tell you. The thing I look forward to now is something I have not seen yet. At least, I don't know. It's weird. When YouTube gives you their analytics, your analytics, they do it in 4-week periods. They show you your last 4 weeks of views, subscribers, likes, dislikes, comments, all that. They go by 4 weeks. I don't know why they don't do 30 days or a month or whatever. You can set it to be that way, but it's automatically set to 28 days. So the next goal for me is for that to say 1 million. For there to be 1 million views in that 28-day period. I think we've gotten up to like 940 was the highest. Yeah, 1 million is good. I think we've actually hit 1 million for the month, but not the 28 days. There's a difference. So that's probably the next goal. Denny's Aquatics says 110K. You know what? We're at 103 now. 100. I don't know. That's just as cool. I mean, it's awesome to watch it go up. I love it. It's a blast. 110,000 will be cool, but it's not going to be any more cool than 103 was, if that makes sense. So, okay. Unfortunately, they lost the softball game, folks. 7-6. The game is over, and that's unfortunate. That means the season's over. But you know what? They got to play in the championships, and that was really cool. And it was at home, and that was awesome, awesome, awesome. So, and Lisa is checking, but they still move on to regionals. Okay, well, there's that. So I guess they are playing next week. I don't know. So, okay, let me skim through the chat here, see if we got anything interesting going on, because I saw we did have another $2 super chat from Cody. Is that Cody or Kobe? Kobe Metz. Hey, John. Hey, how are you? That's somebody that just wanted to see me say hi to them. Watching on my TV and my phone. Wow, you are accounting for 2 of the viewers. So let's see. No, we actually only have 176, not 177, because that guy's watching them on 2. Okay, am I missing something? I don't see super chats. Oh, they were early, Susie Q. That's probably why you don't see them. The chat only goes back so far. There were super chats put in before I even started. Miss Grumps did hers at 7:12. And HV8019 did it at 9:05, and Chad Krotz right at 9:30. So that's why you didn't see them, because they were already gone. So I already said hi to you, Kitten Warrior Meow. I already talked about you a couple of times. We talked about the cat thing, didn't we? So let me talk about the garage, because you know that's the big thing in the what's going on segment for us. The garage is 95% cleared out. It was a long weekend. It's been a long couple of weeks for the fish room project, but we are ready to make step 3, I guess you could say. Step 1 was getting the shed built. Step 2 was getting the garage cleared out. We accomplished that last weekend. We have a rack. It's a Home Depot bought, storage rack. One of those heavy duty ones. We've used it for fish tanks before. We're going to use it for fish tanks again. It's been in the garage since we moved in. That's going to stay out there. We're going to use it for Lisa's small nano tanks for the time being until I can build her something fancy. But for now, right now, as we sit, 2 of the shelves on that rack are actually occupied by stuff. That is garage stuff. But as soon as the 125s come out of the basement and freeze up the space down there, we're going to take that stuff and we're going to put it down there. And the garage will be 100% fish tank stuff. And that's when I'm going to do an inventory of everything that I have, because I've got fish tank stuff all over the house. There's totes, it's everywhere. So I'm going to kind of do an inventory. And I think that is when I am going to do the first video is going to be kind of getting the garage cleared out, and then like a state of affairs type things where we talk about what I have in there and how the layout is going to be, and then kind of show the inventory of all of the things that I have. We did downsize quite a bit when we moved, but we still have a whole lot of stuff, including a bunch of fish food that's expired and stuff. I don't know if that's still going to be good. I'm going to have to talk to Jay, because a lot of it is Northfin. So I'm going to go through all of that. And one of the things that by the time I do that is going to be in the inventory is something that I'm very excited about. I'm not going to have to worry about putting lights on the new 400-gallon tank. If you're not aware, if this is your first time joining the stream, we're building a fish room out in the garage, and one of the biggest things that we're doing is adding a 400-gallon tank from customaquariums.com. Should be coming within the next couple of weeks. It's an 8 foot by 3 foot by 2 foot, 8 foot long, 3 feet deep, front to back, 2 feet tall. Found out, when I didn't find out, I ordered lights for that tank early this week. Hopefully I might even get them tomorrow or first of next week. They are Current USA lights. It is the Serene setup, which I am so excited about. If you haven't seen those, you've got to check them out. They are absolutely incredible. And the cool thing about that is my plan with that 400-gallon tank is to put nothing in it at all except for fish. 2 arowanas, 3 Oscars, 2 stingrays. That's it. Nothing else in there. No substrate, no decor, nothing. The Serene system from Current USA has its own background film that you put on the tank, and then you put a backlight. You don't have to do this. You don't have to order the backlights, but I did. Backlight system that you put on there that you can make the color of the background whatever color you want. You can have it do a fade. You can do like a gradient thing. You can have it change colors, and awesome. And I think that along with the fact that there's not going to be anything in there is really going to show that off. I think it's going to look absolutely amazing. I ordered 2 of the 6 foot versions. Talked to a couple of people at Current, Cat and Ike. Love the guy named Ike. I mean, that's Ike right there. But I didn't tell him that my dog's named Ike. Anyway, they assured me that the 6 foot lights will be fine on an 8 foot tank. There'll be a foot on either side, but these are super, super bright lights. So I don't think it's going to be an issue at all. And they don't think it is either. You got to understand, if I was to buy 4 4-foot lights, they would make more money than if I was to buy 2 6-foot lights. So this wasn't a money thing. If they wanted to get more money out of me, they would have sold me the 4 lights instead of the 2. But they went with the 2 because they said that that's going to work and that's going to make more sense. So got those coming. Hopefully those will be ready to show you in the inventory. I've also got 2 filters coming. If you look real close, you can see a filter right there. That filter was actually sent to me by mistake. I've got 2 more coming from Fluval 407s. The new 7 series, that's a 107. They sent me that, and I opened it, and I said, what am I going to do with this? It was an accident. It's a long story. But yeah, I've got 2 407s. The plan is I'm going to put the 407s on both of these tanks. Whoa, that one and that one. The 407s are going to go on there. And then the FX6 and the FX4 that are currently on those tanks are going to move over to the 125s. So there's that. Let's see. So I saw her video and would love to know how to donate. I left a comment on her most recent video. She saw that comment. She showed that comment to me. We were sitting on the bleachers watching the softball game. You know, that is amazing that you would want to do that. And we can certainly take you up on that. I'm not sure how we would do it yet, though, because I don't want to start a whole GoFundMe and all that kind of stuff for it. This is something that happened spontaneously. Lisa is not a cat rescuer, but she's rescued some cats. So, you know, it's not anything that we planned or anything like that. But you know, we'll figure it out, I guess. You can email me at kgtropicals@gmail.com. We'll figure something out. I don't know. That's very, very nice. Just the thought that you want to do that, though. I'm not going to try to say your name. I'm just going to call you Punk, because that's what at the end of your name. That's very, very nice of you. Adopt the mom. Yeah, I think that's probably going to end up happening, whether we want to or not. Let's see. A lot of people saying hi to a lot of people. Hello from Montreal. Hello, Tropical John. Hello, Tropical Joel. Okay, my Buddha Kofri, Dovice, Convicts, and Plecos said hello. Wow, that's an interesting take. That sounds like a lot of fun. There's a disease named after a cartoon character and a restaurant. What is it? Anyway, I know this is a fish channel, but what breed is the mom cat? Do you know? Yeah, she's one of those wild cats. That's her breed. No, we don't know. I mean, she was a cat that wandered up onto a friend of ours' property, pregnant, and then she laid the kittens on her back porch, and it just so happened to be happening right when that friend was moving. And she couldn't take the cats with her, so Lisa was like going over there, and she just said, I'm going to bring them home. And she asked me for my blessing, and I said, does it matter what I say? Hey, John, you meant antibiotic for human because my question was for my fish. No, I was talking about humans. I was talking about fish. Antibiotics. Erythromycin is what I was talking about. That's anything that ends in sin is an antibiotic. Give me 1,000, I'd be happy. Are we talking subscribers again? I've gone way back here. Okay. Yeah, I went even farther back than I thought because I'm seeing some of these for the second time. Canister only for 110. Wait. John, what is your opinion on AquaClear hang on the back filters? I think they work very well. I think they're very efficient. Every single one of them has annoyed the you-know-what out of me, though, because they eventually end up making a ton of noise. They work very well. Maybe since Fluval bought AquaClear, maybe they've gotten better. I don't know, but the impellers used to start rattling like crazy, and it would drive me nuts. And you'd have to take the hose and like go with the hose, and I guess it would kind of reset the impeller, and it wouldn't make that noise for 20 minutes, and then you'd have to go do it again. It was rough. I want a fish room tour soon. Oh, you're gonna get it. Canister only for 110-gallon extra high. What do you recommend? All male peacock tank, maybe some smaller haps. I'm a big fan of the FX6, especially for a tank that size. I've seen people put FX6s on much bigger tanks than that. If it's 125 gallon, I'm good with the FX6. Anything over that, I don't think there's a canister out there that can handle more than that, but that's just me. You should see the last video about I got a bag of weed in the mail. Interesting. Not my thing, but that's cool. Okay. I already said hi to you, so season continues. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I figured if they lost today, it was over, but no, they still get to go. Oh, John, just love John. He really got me into the fish hobby. Thank you, John. Didn't expect a call out. Hey, I mean, that's what happens when we are reading the chat. The King of DIY said that an FX6 was just an oversized sponge filter. Is that true? Yeah, I saw that video. I can't disagree with that. I mean, it's a huge bucket full of sponges. So yeah, it is. I think it's more efficient than a sponge filter, and I think Joey thinks that too. But what he's saying was very true, because the majority of the filtration in that tank is mechanical filtration by way of sponges. And so, yeah, it is like a giant sponge filter. Very efficient, though. I mean, and what he said about the biomedia, also very true. I mean, it's just little packets of biomedia. But you know what? I am a fan of that filter. And he even said in that video, he's a fan of it too. He just wanted to point out the things that he doesn't like. So, hey, can't fault him there. And the chat did what the chat does, and it skipped. So we're going to go to Jose Fernandez. I see that name a lot with color behind it, meaning that he put in a super chat. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. You make fish keeping easy, fun, and enjoyable. That's exactly why I do it. So that is a huge thrill that you would say that. Is Super Chat broken? No, King Lee, it is definitely working because you just did it, my friend. $2 came in from him. And then Jay Rich decided to become a member of the YouTube, the KG Tropicals family, the team today. That is awesome. I will drive down from Philly to help you set up. We don't want no Philly people down here in Virginia. No, I'm just kidding. Are you talking about coming to help set up the fish room? We're going to need some help with that because when that why do I keep saying 10-footer? When that 8-footer comes in, that's going to be a struggle. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get it all on video. The plan is, here's the thing. That tank is just at the size that Custom Aquariums cannot, the shipping company that Custom Aquariums uses cannot ship it all the way to our front door, which sucks. But it is what it is. I mean, that's just how they do things. So we're going to end up having to go pick that tank up. And what my plan is, what my thoughts are, is Custom Aquariums, when they crate their tanks, they always, if you get a tank and stand, they always put the stand on top of the tank. You know, they build a wooden cage around the tank, and then they put the stand on top of that, and then they build a cage around that, and then they wrap it in plywood. They do that because the tank is so much heavier than the stand, it makes the crate bottom heavy. If you put the tank on top, it would be teeter-tottering all over the place, and every single tank would break in shipping. So my thought is, we're going to have to go to a warehouse to pick this thing up. So my thought is, I'm going to break down the crate right there in the warehouse, take the stand, which it's a metal stand. So it's going to be, I mean, it might be a couple hundred pounds, but it's not going to be unreasonable. We're going to take that stand, put it in somebody's truck, somebody that can bring a truck, because I've only got one. I'll find somebody with a truck that can go down to this warehouse with me. We'll put the stand in that truck, and then we'll have the warehouse guy take the forklift and put the tank up into the bed of my truck, and then drive it home. Whoever brings home the stand, we can bring the stand into the garage. Probably 2 people can handle that stand. Bring it into the garage, put it in place, and then back my pickup truck right up to the stand and just slide the tank right on the top, right onto the stand. That's the plan. I sure do hope it works like that, but that's what we're thinking about. That's how we're hoping that whole thing's going to go. If it does, we're not really going to need any help because, you know, I'll have 4 or 5 people. We can move it if we need to bring it back towards the wall or whatever. Because I think that tank weighs about 700 pounds by itself. That's how much the website says anyway. So that thing is a beast. My back hurts already. I'm just thinking about it, and my back hurts. And King Lee just said, you know what? He wanted to make sure that the super chat system was working. He decided to put in another one. Good grief. You are generous with your money today, my friend. It does seem to be working. Thank you very much for that. I am so far behind. That's the perfect size tank. He did it again. King Lee, what's wrong with you today? He's just super chatting like crazy. You can keep doing it. I'm not going to yell at you. Denny, I could not agree more. The only thing to me that would make it that much better is if it was the 10-footer. If we got the extra 2 feet on the end, I don't know. That's a game changer. I am perfectly satisfied and perfectly happy with an 8-foot tank. And the depth is 3 feet, which is really big. I think it's absolutely the perfect size for silver arowanas. Is any aquarium the perfect size for a silver arowana in reality? No, it's not. But I guess you could make the argument that there is no such thing as the appropriate sized aquarium for any fish. I would say that an 8-foot by 3-foot by 2-foot tank is pretty daggone close to perfect for an arowana or 2. So yeah, let's get into that a little bit. We've made some decisions now that are kind of set in stone with the tanks in the garage. We've made some changes. We haven't made any changes to the 400-gallon. 2 arowanas. I thought about 3, and the only reason why I would want to do 3 would be so that I could have Regal, Viserys, and Drogon. Have all 3. If you don't know what that is, look it up. But Asian arowanas are called dragonfish in Asia. Dragons. They're the dragons from Game of Thrones, if you didn't know. But I really only want to do 2. I want to do 2. For some reason, I feel like 3 would be a crowd. 3's a crowd. You know, I just feel like 3 would be too much in that tank. So I'm going to do 2, and it's going to be Rhaegal and Drogon, because those are the last 2 survivors, even though Rhaegal's not here anymore. You know what I'm saying. But sorry, spoiler alert. But yeah, whichever one's the bigger of the 2 will be Drogon, of course. And then the other will be Rhaegal. So that's going to happen. And then 3 Oscars. And as of right now, it's going to be 3 lemons. And then 2 stingrays. As far as what kind of stingrays, I wish I could afford the crazy ones, the Leopoldis or the Hystrix or the pearls, you know, the crazy ones. But I can't. So I think I'm gonna go with Matoros. I love Matoro stingrays. They are absolutely gorgeous. I've had multiple Matoros. The last one I had was named Moto Moto. Again, figure that one out. That's one of my favorites. And that's kind of like a realistic. It's the same. It's like Joey's tank on a low budget because he's got the expensive rays and he's got the expensive arowanas. I can't get those arowanas because I live in stupid America, and then the rays are just too far out of reach. So it's going to be Joey's budget tank. That's what we're going to have. But that's been my dream my entire life, to have that, and so that's what we're going to do. 2 silver arowanas. Unless they have black arowanas and they're a special price while I'm there getting my silvers. I don't know. But I want to talk about that too. But black arowanas, if you haven't seen them, a lot of people think black arowanas, oh, they're like going to be a jet black fish. No, they're not. It's basically their finnage. There's more black in it. And sometimes they have a little bit of black across the top of their body, almost like the Asian arowanas do. But they look very, very similar to the silver arowanas. But they are absolutely gorgeous. If they have black arowanas up there, then I would probably end up getting those. But we'll have to see. How do you clean your snap? Oh, see, I go back to the chat and I get messed up. I wanted to talk about the fish. I talked with another YouTuber, Scott from King and Queen Cichlids. I said, you know what? You know what might be fun? I've been talking about House of Tropicals for years on my YouTube channel. That's where I'm going to go to get my arowanas, and if they have the stingrays, I'll get them too. I'm probably going to go through my friend in Richmond to get the stingrays, but I know I would go up there and get the arrows and the Oscars from House of Tropicals. And I told Scott, I said, maybe we ought to do like a meetup. Maybe we ought to announce that we're going up there, see if some people want to go up there and hang out with us. I don't know. It'd be a lot of fun. So we might do that. It's going to be a bit before we go up there to do it. I mean, I don't even have the tank yet. I don't even have tracking information on the tank yet. So I don't know. How often do I clean the small nano tanks behind you? Not often enough. I do big water changes about once every other week. And Lisa comes through and cleans the algae all the time. This one here is right next to a window. There's a window right there. And so it gets green pretty quick. How are you filtering the 400 gallon? That is going to be a seamless sump system from Custom Aquariums. And I don't know a whole lot about it yet. We still have to fine tune what that's going to be. I really want to include a refugium in there, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But worst case scenario, and this is a real bad worst case scenario. Oh, geez, it'll be the filter sock section, the sump section, and then a reservoir. But I could turn that reservoir into a refugium too, if I wanted to, and then circulate water through it rather than just have it sit there stagnant. I might do that. We'll have to see. But yeah, and it's all going to be exposed underneath the tank. Did I show it one time? I have a video of the tank because it's actually the tank that was at the Aquatic Experience in New Jersey back in October. Or was it November? Was it October? I don't know. But they had the tank there. That's the tank I'm buying. It's not one just like that one. It's literally that one. And you can see the filtration that's on the bottom. They have the main sump, and then there's like something around the corner. And I don't know if that comes with it, but we'll have to see. Can't wait to see the new tank. Me too. The fish tank barn member, 7 months. Wow. He's got the fancy thingy then, right? Candy has the same one. JH Aquatics is here with us. My new favorite YouTuber. Because I said your name because of the cat thing? Is that why? Not the dogs that are right here and so cute, and they're just sleeping. Just sleeping next to me. Look at that. They sleep together. Nobody's... that's not cute. It's only the cats, right? I know how you cat people are. I am so far behind in the chat. Oh, boy. Let's see. Is a canister filter better than a hang-on-the-back filter? I think so. Hang-on-the-back filters are very efficient. I mean, look. Almost every filter out there is efficient. You could make arguments of one of the others more efficient than the other. But look at Lucas. Lucas doesn't even use filters. Look how good his tanks look. So there's a lot of arguments that can be made for all different types of fish keeping. Just depends on what it is that you want to do. I am a fan of canister filters. I find them to be quieter than almost anything. Even sponge filters, because with sponge filters, you got the bubbles and they can make some noise. A room like this, you don't hear anything. It's silent. And that's because all I have running in here is sponge filters on the big tanks. And then the nano tanks have little built-in filtration. But canisters are definitely quieter. And then, of course, depending on which one you get, they're a lot bigger too. So they would be more efficient than a small hang on the back, I guess would be what I'm trying to say. I love cats. I have 2 of them. Yeah, I technically now have 9. That's so depressing. 6 of them are not ours. They're rescues. Okay. Lots of cat talk here today. Watching here in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. How about that? Very cool. Do we have a pool on when first fish room tour will be? So here's the deal. I've already recorded some footage for the new fish room. I'm compiling it. I'm putting it all together, and I have a plan for what the videos are going to be. I've got some stuff coming in. Like I said, I got those filters coming in, got the lights coming in. Jay Wilson's sending a package from Fritz for getting all of those tanks cycled and stuff like that. I got a lot of stuff coming in. There's going to be videos on all this stuff. But as far as the fish room build videos, I've got a plan. And what I want is to have a couple of weeks in reserve before I put the first one out. Because let me tell you something. If you want YouTube to be stressful, anybody that makes YouTube videos, listen to my words right now. If you want YouTube to be stressful, record this week's video this week. That makes it extremely stressful. Unless it's your full-time job. You can record a video and upload it that afternoon. But if you're somebody that works a big boy job or a big girl job, and you're doing videos on top of that, it's way better to have multiple videos in reserve so that you don't miss a week. So that's what I like to do. That's what I do with 10 things. That's what I do with You Ought to Know. The only one I can't do that with is this, for obvious reasons. My AquaClear filters are super loud, so I moved all the tanks using the filters to the basement. Yeah, I mean, they are loud. I got 5 subs last week, and here's some food money. That's cool. Thank you, Tracy Walker. Wasn't there a country music singer named Tracy Walker? Clay Walker. That's who it was. Sounded kind of familiar. Okay. LOL, it is legal in Canada to get marijuana in the same province by mail now. How about that? Okay. We're almost caught up, I think. I didn't miss any super chats, did I? I like to have canisters, honestly, but currently sponge filters and hang on the backs because they are cheaper and easier to maintain. Hey, be happy with those. There's nothing wrong with those. I had 127 tanks running on sponge filters, and they were all fine. Sponge filters are very, very good filters. So don't you be upset about that. If you're setting up a big, giant display tank like I'm going to be setting up, it would look kind of silly to have 12 sponge filters going across the back of something like that. But, you know, if you're doing a bunch of small tanks, a bunch of 20 gallons, 30 gallons, even 55 gallons. I used to run 2 sponge filters, one in each corner on 55 gallons, and they were great. So don't be ashamed of that. Sponge filters are awesome. It skipped again. Hi, KG Tropicals. What is the best canister filter? I mean, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? I mean, and I'm not paid by Fluval. I'm not. But I have found their filters to be awesome. They've worked very well for me. I've never had one fail. I've never had one leak. They've always worked, and they've just been little tanks. And when I say tanks, I'm talking about like Panzer tanks. Like they're just a tank, and they work. They work extremely well. Got that 107 there. Lisa has a 20 gallon that we might put that on. I don't know. Or we might just give it away. But we're actually going to be giving away a 407, so why even worry about giving away that? More details on that later. I haven't missed a week, but I may or may not have recorded video the night before it was due. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I recorded, Jeff Rose could tell you this because I sent him a funny message about it. I recorded this week's You Ought to Know, which I uploaded on Wednesday morning. I recorded it Tuesday night. And the reason why is because I usually record my videos on the weekends. My weekends have been fully consumed with the garage. So, but that's all changing now because I have cut myself back on my other job, not because of YouTube. It's basically because my other job has slowed down. It's not like I'm making a bunch of money on YouTube now, and it's not like that. But I've cut down to 4 days a week with my other job because it makes more sense to work 4 full days than 5 not full days, right? So I've got Fridays now. I'm going to be doing all of my YouTube stuff. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I know I missed a super chat, and that makes me upset because holy crap, I missed a whole bunch of them. River Life, my guy, said, John, do I buy a custom aquarium from you? You certainly can, my friend. Anyone, not just you, because I like you, but anyone that wants to buy a aquarium from Custom Aquariums, I can work little deals, little bit. Basically, I've got an amount, because I'm a retailer for Custom Aquariums. So if a tank is X amount of dollars, I pay X amount for it. Does that make sense? So you order it from me, I buy it from them for a little bit less than what they actually cost. And that would be my payment for selling the tank. I can adjust that amount a little bit and give some of that to you. So if you're interested in what are you doing? A custom aquarium, email me, kgtropicals@gmail.com. Rack, you know how to get a hold of me. You don't have to email me. You can if you want. But yeah, that's how you would do that. Anything. You want to just buy one of their seamless sumps? I can do that for you. You want to get a tank stand, canopy, filtration system, whole setup? I can do that too. I've done that multiple times. It's been a blast. So yeah, definitely email me if you're interested in that, and we can hook that up for you. Understand that they are at depends on when you get them, but it's a 6 to 10 week lead time. My lead time for this one was not as long because it was already built. It was sitting in their warehouse ready to go. That's why they gave me the deal on it that they did. Come here, you. Come here. You're going to get in trouble. Okay, so after River Life, we had Brandon Bosick, I hope I'm saying that right, twice. Came in with the $1 super chat with no comment. Just said, here's my money. And then also became a member, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Fit for Sure also put in the $5 and, hey, come here, and said, hey, yo, why don't I typically see African cichlid tanks being planted? Do they just eat them? They can. With peacocks and haps, they won't necessarily eat them as much as they will just tear them up. But some of the imbunas will. Some of the imbunas will eat the plants. So that's why you don't see them. African cichlids are very much interior decorators. They're going to move things around, which is why most of the time in an African cichlid tank, you see big rock formations because they're not going to move that. So Oscars are big time interior decorators too. So, okay. I hate when people go, but I just did it. Sorry for another question, but do you think fish getting caught in a sponge filter tube is a real concern? No, because no. I mean, first of all, if a fish got stuck in there, sure, I would consider that to be a concern. But you have to think about, that would be like saying, are you afraid the fish are going to swim up the output of your return of your filter? You're not really concerned about that, and they don't put like a grate on that to keep fish from doing it. Why? Because the water's just going to shoot them right back out. It would have to be a really strong fish to go the opposite way through a filter. The tube on a sponge filter, the water's coming up. That's the whole point. The air comes up from the bottom and pushes air up, and that's what draws water from through the sponge and up through that tube. So they'd be going against the current to get down into that tube. They can do it because it's not a super strong current, but unless it's micro fry, really what's the concern? There's not a churning impeller in there that's going to chew them up or anything. If they do get down in there, they're going to swim around. They're going to be like, this sucks because it's so small, and they're going to swim right back out. So if they get stuck, that's another situation. Ike, come here. What's wrong with you? This is why I don't usually bring them in here, because they find something to cry about. I have a 65.5 gallon. There it is. And I have clear stuff on the bottom of my fish tank. What can I do to get rid of it? Clear stuff. What is it? Just some kind of mold or something on there? Clear stuff. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what you're talking about, William Palmer, and that concerns me because I want to help you. But have fun with Scott at House of Tropicals. I've been having fun with Asian channels. They have been breeding various different genotypes of silver arowanas over there, albinos, platinums. Okay, that's kind of two different things, right? Because okay, I don't know. Chewy LTD, aren't you a Canadian? I don't think we're talking about the same House of Tropicals. Maybe I'm wrong about you being a Canadian. I don't know. But I'm talking about a House of Tropicals in Glen Burnie, Maryland, right outside of Baltimore, Maryland. That's the store I'm talking about. And I don't know if there's a guy named Scott that works up there. Ike, what is your deal? Come here. Come here. Whining like a little you-know-what. I'll put you up here so you'll stop. Okie dokie. Okay, Vincent, I wish I live in your country because I want to buy your beta. What country you in? Okay. No, they can always swim out, but if you're concerned about it, you can always take the tube off completely. That's a good point. I guess Duke City Aquariums, I guess there is some people that would argue that taking the tube out would take out some of that turbulence. I don't know. I mean, it kind of makes sense with that tube that it would draw air more specifically. I don't understand the science behind it. But you're absolutely right, because I ran a bunch of sponge filters without the tubes, and it was never a problem. It's always weird when I hold a dog like this. I can't turn my wrist over because I broke my arm when I was a kid. I can't turn it over, so I have to hold him like this, which is really weird. It makes it look like I'm holding a gun. It probably looks really strange on camera. Oh, what a cute dog. Everybody's talking about the dog now. Hello, handsome, somebody said. Yeah, this dog, I didn't buy this dog. He bought me. Little brat. Oh, look at you. Now you're going to show off. This guy picked me. We went to the breeder to get her, but then he said, no, you're getting me. And so, yeah, he picked me. You want to go sleep with her? Are you going to shut up now? And they both jumped down. Yay, this is a beautiful thing. Your thoughts about Giardini arowanas? I have owned one, and I didn't have it very long. It's a long story. I like Giardini arowanas, but I like silvers better. The Giardinis are, I don't know. I mean, there's just something about them. I like them because I like all arowanas, but I like silvers better. I like the longer, and I just love the way the silvers turn around and they make that U-turn, and I could just watch that all day long. So, Bruce Willis, you got a cute chihuahua. People keep saying Thanos. And what's funny, like, there's been people that have commented on my videos, and they'll say Steve Austin, they'll say Thanos. Are either one of those supposed to be an insult? Because to me, that's a great, like, other than the fact that Thanos' chin looks like a, you know, I don't have a problem being called Thanos, and I certainly don't have a problem being called Steve Austin. I think what's his name, Josh Brolin and Steve Austin would both be probably pretty insulted by me being called those guys. But yeah, I've heard Bruce Willis has been said so many times. I'm going to embarrass myself. Don't snap my finger. I am inevitable. If you haven't seen Endgame yet, you don't know what that is. But this is the embarrassing part. And this is the one, like, when somebody says you look like Bruce Willis, I'm like, well, the only reason you say that is because we're both bald. Steve Austin, same thing. We're both bald. And we're talking about Stone Cold, like Aiden Highland said, Stone Cold Steve Austin, not the $6 million man Steve Austin. The only reason people say that is because we're all bald. I mean, you could say Bill Goldberg, you could say Bruce Willis, all these guys, Moby, you could say all these people, just because they're bald, white guys. But with all of those, I don't look at any of those guys and say, yeah, you know what, that guy really, I do look like that guy. But the one that I do is actually quite embarrassing. And if I tell you this, you will probably never look at me the same. It is Paul Giamatti. Now, you don't see me from the side all that often. You see me from the front. From the side, it is definitely, I can see it. If you don't know who Paul Giamatti is, he's on Billions. He was on a lot. He's in a lot of movies. He was in that John Adams series, which was fantastic, on HBO. He's a very, very talented, very good actor, and I adore him as an actor. And I never thought of it until somebody said, dang, you look like Paul Giamatti. And I saw that and I was like, yeah, I think I do. But he is a lot older than me, so I mean, I think he's like 60 and I'm only 59. So far the only reference I know is Thanos. Really? Well, you might not be in the US. These are all US people. You look like Lenny Kravitz. Now, that is new. I've never been told I look like a 6'5" black man. I've never heard that one before. You must be young. Yeah, Jerome must be young or doesn't live in the US. I mean, people still know who Stone Cold is, don't they? And Bruce Willis was just in Glass, and he was in Unbreakable. I mean, Bruce Willis has been in a lot of movies. Have I ever had a joke? I'm not 59. No, I'm 44. Shame on you for thinking I could be 59. Have you ever had a giant gourami? No, I have not. I like them. I think they're really cool. And the store that I'm going to go to, and I did see that Chewy said something about that. I think clarified things a bit. I got to scroll way back to find that. Where did it go? There he is. KG Tropical Scott from King of Queens is a good friend of mine. I have had the owner of House of Tropicals on a radio show. Okay. I thought the owner of House of Tropicals' name was Mark. I don't know either one of them. I just thought his name was Mark. Mike? I don't know. I've never talked to anybody up there. I mean, other than the employees who've like bagged up fish for me. But yeah. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, I have not had a giant gourami, but at House of Tropicals they have a mammoth giant gourami, and it's in a tank that's probably not big enough because it just sits there and it never moves, and it's unfortunate. But are strawberry arowana and the silver the same other than color? I have never seen a strawberry arowana, nor have I ever heard of one being called a strawberry arowana. If there is a strawberry arowana out there, I assume that it would be an Asian. And if that's the case, no. They are similar from the gill plate forward. Everything else is very different. Not very different, but Asian arowanas do not get quite as long as silvers. The silvers are basically an Asian arowana stretched out. So yeah, but I've never heard them called strawberry. John, you should check out Jungle Aquatics in Virginia Beach. Awesome store. They do have arowana as well. I think I have been there a long time ago. I don't know. Paul Giamatti is awesome. Yes, he is. I love that guy. And I look like him. If I had my hair, because, see, he has the receding hairline too. If I let my hair grow, I would really, and shave this, I would really look like him. Candy Overhauls, can he stream with the girl? Because in other video, he is with the girl. Who? Me? John, you should check. Oh. Lisa has been in a couple of streams with me, but she's at the softball thing now. She hasn't gotten back from that yet. It's 10:30. Goodness. And the kid has school tomorrow. They shouldn't do that to these kids. I mean, they should have games on Friday nights like they do football. I mean, it's just mean. They got to get up at... She gets up at like 5 a.m. to go to school. And anyway. But she'll do it. And she'll be fine. Okay, so there's a video here, which I wish I could save. I can't put it on here while we're talking, but there's apparently a video of strawberry arowana. I want to see it. I wonder what happens if I click this. Oh, it just went away from the chat. Let me see. Oh, pics only. Okay. All right, so it's an arowana that's got some pink highlights to it. That's pretty cool. I've never seen that before. In my life, never seen it. It's pretty neat, though. Now I have to go and get the chat back. When I clicked on that link, it just changed the chat window into YouTube, which is interesting. That was a cute-looking arowana. That's kind of what happens with the black arowanas. They are... like it's got like highlights of black. It's not an all black arowana. I have seen an all black Giardini, and I almost bought it. This was when we had our garage, when we first started doing YouTube videos, and it was in Virginia Beach. And you know what? I think it was that jungle. What was it called? Jungle something? Jungle Aquatics? I think it was there. Now I'm remembering. They had a Giardini that was about 6 inches. And it was jet black. I'd never seen one like that before. $200 for that fish. But I was like, hey, I'll take it. But then I thought about it and I was like, nah, I'm not going to do it. Because really the only tank that I had that was appropriate for that fish at the time would have been the 240 with my other arrows. And I was not going to I wasn't going to do that. But anyway, the strawberry that I saw in that video, that's very similar to what the black arowana is, except instead of the pinkish, it's black. So Jerome, is only 14, and that's why he doesn't get the references. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense why the only one you would know is Thanos. Makes total sense. If you see the movie Glass, you'll know which one Bruce Willis is, because he's the other bald white guy. Can we get back to the fish room? People are so impatient. I go where the chat takes me, so don't be upset with me. But yeah, what do we want to talk about in the fish room? You know what there's Lisa's headlights. She's pulling up now. So I don't know, since they lost, I don't know if Kenzie's going to want to come in here and do a dance like she did last week. I don't know if Lisa's going to bring in one of the kittens or not, but we'll see. But apparently Assad is going to be upset because we're not talking about the fish room if that happens. But the cats are coming from the fish room, so we started talking, and I got off track. Of course I did, because that's what I do. That's why I don't usually follow the chat. I told you what the 400 is going to be. We have decided to make the 240, our original 240. We've decided that we are going to take that back to being an African cichlid tank. Rather than putting these fish in the 125, in the 125, we're going to put them in the 240, and we're going to put haps in there with them. So that's going to be very, very cool. There's 7 peacocks in there right now, which is not enough, but so we'll move those over, and then we're also we'll probably add 7 or 8 more peacocks, and then the window's right there, and Lisa was just waving to me from outside. And then we'll add some haps. So I would love to, what I'm going to end up doing, here we go with the dogs. Can you let the chihuahuas out? Because they're going to go crazy and drive me nuts. And yes, thank you.
Did you bring a kitten?
No, it's just me. I had the dogs in here, though. What I think I'm going to do when I talk about it in the fish room video, and that's what we're going to call them, fish room videos, because I don't like calling them update videos. I don't know. It's just a pet peeve of mine. I want to call those videos fish room videos. So every single week you're going to get a episode of 10 Things, an episode of You Ought to Know, and a fish room video. So one of the fish room videos, we're going to end up talking about moving those fish into the 240 and adding haps. And I probably am going to consult you, the viewers, of what haps I should get. Because there are some kind of staples that I love that, of course, will be in there. To me, you cannot have a hap tank without a venustus in it. It's just not a hap tank. That's a Big Mac without Thousand Island dressing. It's just not the same. So definitely has to have a venustus in it. Bucanodo, that's another one, needs to be in there. I really love Livingstone Eye, Polystigma, Christie Eye, the White Lips, the Blue Dolphins. There's so many that I love, but I'll probably maybe I'll do like a poll or something. I don't know. I want to get you involved in the decision of what haps to put in that tank. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It's a 240-gallon tank, so we can fit quite a few of them in there. And we're not going to go crazy. I'm not going to put 70 of them in there. But no Mbunas this time. We're just going to go peacocks and haps, obviously all males. And we'll probably end up, I don't know, 25 total. See where we're at. The problem with that, though, is if you say 25, and then we'll see where we're at. Well, when you see where you're at, by that time the fish are really big, and now if you want to add more fish, you've got to add really big fish. So then you're spending $200 per fish. It can become a problem. So I don't know. The filtration on that tank is massive. It can handle it, but I don't want them all crammed in like sardines. I want them to be able to have space. So I think 25 would probably even be pushing it, especially if we get some haps that get some size to them. Like I would love to maybe finally succeed with a trout, a Malawi trout. I would love that. I've never had one really reach its full potential. And that's probably my holy grail African cichlid is the trout. So we'll see. I talked with Jay Wilson about maybe doing an emperor in there. Not with all of the other fish. It was just that. Like, we'll get an emperor cichlid, put it in there. He knows a guy. I think it's the guy from Something Fishy. What's his name? Chip Hale? Is it? No, that's the coach of the Nats. Dave Hale. That's his name. The owner of Something Fishy. I think he breeds emperor cichlids. So anyway, I could probably pay a visit to him when we go to Aquatic Experience this year. It is the genetics that the Asians are playing with to create strains. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Asians are brilliant when it comes to arowanas. They know it. Yes, Jerome, Bruce Willis is John McClane from Die Hard. However, unless you watch the last Die Hard, he's not bald. He's got hair. It's back here, but he's got hair. It's the bald Bruce Willis that people say I look like. Are you going to do a color theme for your fish room? That's a great question. Right now, the walls are white, and I don't want them to be white. I don't think I'm going to go crazy with something in there. I think it's going to be something like a gray or a I want to say like a khaki color, something to warm it up and not be white. But I don't know. I don't know yet. Lisa wants her wall to be pink. I don't know how I feel about that. You know, she's got the whole pink thing. She wears pink shirts in every video. Pink. So she wants her wall to be pink. It's not like she only gets one little wall. I mean, the whole garage is for both of us, but she wants her wall where all of her nanotanks are going to go to be pink. Hi, John. I'm pumped going to see 38 Special next month. Wow. That's very cool. You know, it was like decades of listening to that band before I realized that the singer, I guess, and I forget his last name's Van Zant, obviously, but was related to Ronnie Van Zant and Johnny Van Zant from Leonard Skinner. I never knew that. I had been listening to that band 20 years. Didn't even know. Yes, 240 Africans. Yeah, that decision is made. That is going to happen. And I am so excited about that. What's your favorite type of fish? Kitten Warrior Meow is getting all kinds of attention from me. It is the silver arowana. That's my favorite fish. That's the fish that got me into this hobby. And it will always be my favorite fish. Arowanas, period, are my favorite fish. I've got a lot of others, but that is definitely the one. My redfin borley always gets pissed when he looks in the mirror. I know the feeling because I get pretty pissed too. Stone Cold is in the condemned. Yes, he is. Who is the best known arowanologist? I don't know. There is a guy, I forget the name of his channel, but he's like the only guy on YouTube that strictly does arowana videos. And I think he's from India or he sounds Indian. His voice, his accent sounds very, very Indian. And he speaks good English, but it's a little broken, a little difficult to understand. But he's the only guy that does like strictly arowana videos. But I don't know if he would be as much an arowanologist as I am African cichlidologist. I'm just a guy that keeps African cichlids and talks about them on YouTube. I'm not an expert in them, but are you just going to stand there? What are you going to do?
I didn't want to interrupt my
So she decided to bring some of them in. Well, now you're taking them.
No, I have to put them up here because, yeah.
I mean,
Scared I'm going to drop them.
how is that? It looks like I'm strangling the kitty, but I'm not. I mean, but come on. Look at that. Really? Oh, seriously. Look at that. It's adorable. So the two of the kittens.
Mommy escaped again. She's sitting in the garage. She just wanted me to love on her.
You're not as scared as you were the other day. These are 4 weeks old. These little teeny things.
Yeah.
I don't mean take the cat and then leave. I'm just handing her back to you because. So yeah, there's the kitties. We have a new member, Miss Lisa. It's King and Queen Cichlids has decided to become a member. And somebody was asking about you being in the streams earlier, so now here she is.
Oh yeah, just for a second. I'm exhausted from that game. It was a nail biter. And I've got to go take care of the mommy and the babies and get them ready for bed and give them their formula.
Well, yeah. Why don't you do that? Because I want to start wrapping this thing up here soon. Now everybody's going to start leaving. But bye, kitties.
Alrighty. Good night, everybody. See you later.
Yeah, she has a nighttime ritual that's like an hour and a half.
It is not. I just like to shower and wash my face.
She doesn't take a shower. She takes a bath, and it takes forever. And then I end up with a cold shower.
I have 9 cats to take care of now.
Somebody said, here we is. Todd Snake said, how about red severums you talked about? I'm glad you asked that because I have not forgotten about them. See, Lisa is apparently commandeering a tank for discus, which I'm fine with. One of the 125s is going to be for discus. The 240 is going to be for the Africans. And then I think these are still the 2 that are undecided. I think that might become an angel, like a planted angel community tank. And then the 125, we could do the red severums in. Or that could become a red severum tank. But red severums get too big for a 75. I don't want to put them in there. But yeah, I love the red severums. I'm still not off of those. I mean. But yeah, they're still possible. Rymax Cichlid says predator haps. I don't call them predator haps because I think that's just a fancy name. Predator haps. I don't make fun of people for saying that. I'm not against people calling them that, but I just call them all haps. I've never called them predator haps. I don't know. But anyway, but yeah, it's back to what you're talking about. Yes, haps and peacocks. That is what's going to be in there. Got to have Malawi trout. Niger Venter? Okay. It's blurry because it's late and I'm tired and all of that. I'm not familiar with that one. IFG is in the house and I did it again. I'm not supposed to say people are in the house. Talks about Malawi gar. Yeah, that's a monster there. And I would like to do that, but who knows? Oh, my pleasure. Candy, John, and Lisa are awesome. Yeah, we love you too, Scott. You're a good dude. And I was talking about you earlier in the stream. You probably weren't here yet, but I was talking about how we were talking about meeting up at House of Tropicals. I'm excited about that, and I hope we can do that because that would be a lot of fun. And who knows, maybe 4 or 5 people will show up. If I talk about it on my channel and y'all talk about it because you said Michael would come too, think about that, folks. You would want to go to that, wouldn't you? To go, it's not a convention. It's not something like that. It's, hey, let's all meet up at the fish store and go hang out and have fun. And John's going to buy fish. It'd be a good time. If you live anywhere in that area, bring it on. I mean, and you know, if 40 people show up, maybe they'll throw me a discount. And Scott and Michael and everybody, we can all have a discount party there. I'm not expecting anything like that, but you never know with these things. I've seen people talk about doing meetups. One of my favorite channels on YouTube is Doug DeMuro. If you're not familiar with him, he does car reviews, and he's the best one out there as far as I'm concerned. He looks like a young, very tall Jay Leno, and he talks like Jay Leno. He doesn't look a lot like him, but he talks very much like Jay Leno, and he's just as educated in cars as Jay Leno is. But anyway, he was talking about, he told his whole story with YouTube one time. He's got like 2.8 million subscribers. He was talking about how when his channel was very small, he did a cross-country trip. driving an Aston Martin. I think he was driving. He's an exotic car collector. And it was either that or a Maserati. I'm not sure. And he announced doing a meetup. And like 250 people showed up at this like random place that he went to. So you never really know with these things. If you announce, hey, we're going to be up here, we're going to have a lot of fun, all we're doing is going to the fish store. We're not going to be doing raffles and, doing talks and all that kind of stuff. But you never know. A bunch of people might show up. That'd be fun, actually. We'll have to talk about that more, Scott. Allie Patton says, I'm literally eating a Big Mac with extra Mac sauce right now. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. Can you imagine a Big Mac without the dressing on it? It's just a double hamburger. Probably still be pretty tasty, but the last trout never colored up, did it, John? No, it did not. And that has been the case with the Malawi trout for me more times than I can count. People sell them to me as males, and I'm not mad at these people because, I mean, why would I be? That's a difficult fish to sex because I've had them up to about 8 inches and they still weren't colored up, and I've had so many of them at that size. One of them was bound to have been a male, and they never colored up. None of them ever. So they might be one of those fish that needs to get super big before they color up. I don't know, but that's a frustrating one. I wish I could figure out how to get a guaranteed male. What size tank for albino cichlids? Dude, there are so many albino cichlids. You got to be a little bit more specific than that. And of course, YouTube skipped on me. Golly, I love YouTube. It's so funny. Hair is overrated, bruh. Yeah. We were at the softball game today. The umpire, the home plate umpire, had a beard to here. It was a Jeff Rose beard. And she actually told me, she was like, that guy, when he's got his mask on and all that, he looks like Jeff Rose, which I thought was funny. He doesn't look like Jeff Rose at all. Again, associating a guy just because he has a big beard. I asked her, I was like, okay, so what if I did that? What if I, bald head, but grew the beard straight down? What would you think of that? And she was like, no. It would be all gray, and I'd look like Santa Claus. It would be ridiculous. Are you doing yellow labs, black background? That is a great question because I talked about that in this stream, and Lisa and I actually talked about that on Sunday. It's so interesting that you bring that up. I want to do that so bad, but I just don't know if I'm going to be able to. I will not do that unless it's one of the 125s. And we actually talked about that because, see, like I said, one of the 125s is going to be available, or this is going to be available. We might make the second 125 a planted community tank with the angels, or it could be that one. That's the planted community tank with the angels. And then the 125 will be open. We could do the yellow lab thing. It's already got a black background. We could do the red severums. There's so many options. That's a good problem to have as a fish keeper. We are increasing the number of tanks that we have. 4 big tanks. Right now, the biggest thing we have set up is the 75s. So it's going to be a lot of fun trying to figure out what exactly we're going to do. The only tank, we know 2 tanks, well, 3 for certain. Yeah, so that only leaves 1 that's open. But the monster tank is going to have the big fish in it. The 240 is going to be African cichlids, and one of the 125s is going to be discus. So no one speaks about the hair. What? Okay. Pink glitter paint on Lisa's side. Yes. Oh, pink. Back to the color on the walls. I don't know. I told her, you know what? If we end up going with gray, which I think gray is a good color, and I think gray works well on video. If you see a lot of people have gray walls in their studios, I think it's a color that performs very well on video. So if we did gray, and then I said, well, what if we did all the walls gray and then just hung up like some pink fabric or something like that in those areas? And she was like, okay, that would work. So we'll see. And that way, if it looks bad, we can just take it down and no big deal. Tracy Walker just wanted to make sure I saw that question about the albino cichlids, and so included a super chat with it. What size tank for albino cichlids? Hopefully you're still here, Tracy. I'm going to need to know what albino cichlids you're talking about, because if you're talking about rams, are there albino rams? Never seen those. But if you're talking about an albino Mbuna, we're going to have a different conversation than if you're talking about an albino Oscar. You know what I mean? So, King and Queen cichlids will see you on Sunday. Chewy, were you at the Big Fish deal? Have we met and I didn't even know? I don't think so. Because your name has been around the chats for a while. I feel like I would have known if you would have come and introduced yourself. I would have been like, oh yeah, the Chewy LTD guy. But I don't think you did. Anyone keeping Bay Snook? I don't even know what that is, so I don't think I am. That's some OG what is? Oh, okay. The chat's tough. It's tough tonight. Want to set up a 45-gallon Mbuna tank. How many Mbunas can work? Thinking Yellow Labs, Yellowtail, ACI, and Rusty. I would stay away from the ACI because a 45-gallon tank. ACI, I don't know this as fact, but I'm going to say it because I think it's fact. ACI would be the biggest Mbuna you can get. They get huge. They get hap size. So I would keep them out of the equation, although they are a beautiful fish. Yellow Labs and Rusties, they're going to stay relatively small. I mean, they're not going to get massive. But I don't know. In a tank that size, I wouldn't go any more than 10, 12. In my younger days, 8, 9 years ago, I would have probably told you a lot more than that. But I don't know. I've kind of scaled back. As you see, I only have 7 peacocks in there, and I'm perfectly happy with that. I could just keep them in there and be happy. But they're usually, this is like bedtime for them, so they're usually a lot more active than they are right now. Okay, everybody's talking about Cutie, so this must be where I showed the kittens. I'm surprised none of the YouTube big mistakes was about overflowing tanks. I am glad you brought up that. And daggone it, I wish that I had thought about this in the What's Going On segment. I want to talk about that for a minute, but first I got to thank Twin City Guppies again. Says, will a full-size arowana leave guppies alone? I'd love to have fun with that, King Lee. I would love to make a joke about that and say, yeah, they'll be fine. But then somebody would do it, and then you know what I mean? I would love to see a tank filled with guppies and a full-size arowana swimming around that doesn't bother them. That would be awesome. And Kiwa says, what flavor is your vape? It's a raspberry cheesecake hazelnut that I make myself. No, I cannot make any for you because I'm not allowed to, because you have to have a room and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I want to talk about this thing. This is important. And it pertains to... My dumb self looked at the chat, but I'm glad I did. What kind of heaters are you getting for the 400-gallon? Probably takes a lot, right? Yes, it does, and I haven't figured that out yet. So stay tuned for that. I'm not 100% sure. I might try to go something inline. I don't know. I don't know what that's going to be yet. But when it comes to the mistakes videos, daggone it, I am so upset that I waited this long to talk about it. But we still have 180 people in here, so hopefully you will bear with me. I am thrilled with the way all 3 of those videos went. I am thrilled that the people who participated with that series participated. Every single one of them. I am so thankful that they took the time to do that. But I wanted to touch on something because there's already been a few comments, not as many as I thought there was going to be, but there's been quite a few comments where people have said, "Where's this person? Where's that person? How come you didn't put this person in?" They've really come in after the second one, because I guess when people watched the first one, they knew the second one was coming out. So they're like, okay, maybe my favorite person is going to be in that one. So they waited, which is understandable. But there's been quite a bit of that. I'm not going to say a lot, but there's been quite a bit of that. There's one thing that I want to make absolutely clear. There was not a single video sent to me for the purposes of that series that was not used. Okay? Because there's been a couple of comments where people are like, I can't believe you chose this person over that person. And that's a problem, because there was no choosing one person over the other. The deal went like this, folks. Came up with the idea of doing a YouTuber edition of the mistakes. I was already writing the 10 things episode on the 10 most common mistakes. And I said to Lisa, wouldn't it be cool if we had YouTubers send us videos, and we'll do a whole video of the YouTubers talking about their biggest mistakes. She was like, that's a great idea, but it's going to be hard, getting people to do that and all this. I said, I know, but, I think I can do it. And I said, the easy way around that is to ask way more people than we actually need. Because they're not all going to do it. I mean, it's just reality. We know they're not all going to do it. So her and I put our heads together, and we chose the channels to reach out to. We chose them because these are people that we know. Some of these people I call friends outside of YouTube. I've become close with these people, and I know them. Not like they live next door, but I know them. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of how we chose who we chose. But we asked 30 YouTubers. 30 of them. I told Lisa, I said, this is what we'll do. We'll ask 30, and we'll be lucky to get 10. But if we get more than 10, we'll just do another one. It's no big deal. So that's how we came up with that number, and we decided who those 30 were going to be. Now, we only had 18 videos sent to us. So that means 12 people that were on that 30 list did not send in videos for whatever reason. I don't know that any of them were because they just don't like us or something like that. I don't know that it was anything like that. But here's what I do know, and I know for absolute certain. We sent out 30. There were 2 out of the 30, 2 that just didn't answer us. They just ghosted us. Nothing. I'm not going to tell you who those 2 were, but there were 2 people that just did not answer at all. One of them was through email. The other was through Facebook. And the one that was through Facebook, I saw the little avatar showing that it had been read, but the person chose to not respond. I'm not mad at anybody. It's fine. Only one, and you're not watching, but if you were, you know who you are. Only one said no. Just came out and said no. Which again, I understand, because this person in particular was in the middle of something pretty big. Something going on. I'll say it. It's another female. Because we wanted to kind of balance it out. We didn't want to have it be all bunch of hairy dudes. We wanted to get as many women in there as possible. This particular woman was just piled up with life at the time and said, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to do it. No big deal. Not mad at you. One, I got a kick out of this one. One of them, of the 30, said, I don't know I've never made a mistake. I've never made a mistake, so I don't know. And my response was like, good for you. That's cool. You're the perfect fish keeper. But I think what the guy meant, because this wasn't through voice, this was through messaging. I think what he meant was, I don't know that I can think of a mistake that I made that would be worthy of being in the video. I think that's what he meant. But anyway, I've never made a mistake in fish keeping. I call BS on that, but it doesn't matter. Again, not mad. So that's 4. Okay, 1 said, sure, I'll do it, but I've never made a mistake, so I don't know how to do it. 2 ghosted, and 1 said no. So that means that of the 30, those 4 are out, so there's 26 left. The 26 that were left said yes, but only 18 sent the videos. The point that I'm trying to make is the person that you're asking, how come this person isn't in the video? How come that person isn't in the video? They might have been asked and they just weren't able to do it for whatever reason, or maybe they're one of the ones that ignored me. I don't know. As a matter of fact, it was actually Lisa that sent the email to this person, and nothing. Crickets. It is what it is. I'm not mad at anybody over it. I'm very, very much appreciative to everyone that sent it. If you noticed, it was not a hierarchy thing. Is that the right way to say it? There was not any criteria that had to be met to get on those videos. There was nothing like that. It was, these are the channels that I like. These are the channels that I would like to have on my channel. And these are the channels, the 30 channels that I believe can bring something valuable to the table for the viewers. That's how the decisions were made. But again, not all of them could do it. So don't be mad at anybody. There's no drama. There's no none of that. It just didn't work out on all of them. So there is one I have to shout out. I have to shout out one of them. I sent out those messages. I sent them all through Facebook Messenger. I copied and pasted because I sent it out to 30 people. There was one guy that I sent that message to, and this was like a Sunday morning, a month and a half before the videos were going up. And this guy, 2 hours later, sent me a message back that said, not only will I do it, but here you go. And I had the video right there, ready to go. 2 or 3 hours after I asked for it. That was a beautiful thing. And that was Mr. Ben Ochart. I sat on Ben's video for a month and a half before it went up. I guess I messaged him at the absolute perfect time. He had his camera all ready. He was already all ready to go. And he just clicked the camera on and knocked it out and did it right away. That was very, very awesome. I would love to kind of go through what my favorites were, but that's kind of not fair because I loved all of them. I could go through every single one of them and tell you what I loved about it. I loved how unique Rachel's was. Nobody was going to talk about quarantining plants. There was a few people that talked about quarantining fish. Nobody was going to talk about plants. I loved that she did that. If I had to pick a favorite, it would probably be Lucas. I mean, because his was so different. It's like, hey, the mistake is not being the fish. A couple of people broke his balls for that. I deleted those comments because I won't tolerate it, but I loved it. I thought that was really smart to do that. I'm not going to say creative. It was smart to say that. I loved Rax. I loved Scott's. I loved Mike's. I loved everybody's. Alex, I mean, how can you listen to Alex and not just love the guy? I'm talking about Tank Tested. That guy's voice is a moneymaker, and he should definitely make a living with that voice. And Rex's voice is very similar too, just that thunderous kind of like, I should be making a living on Tennessee radio. Is it Kentucky or Tennessee? You live in Tennessee, don't you? You should be on radio somewhere doing ad spots with that voice. Jimmy, of course, Jimmy did what Jimmy does and took it to another level, and poof, it was a beautiful thing. All of them were awesome. And what I loved the most, I told everybody, I said, just record. You don't need to put any, any production into it. It doesn't matter. Just turn your video or turn your camera on and record. And that's what I loved about it because it was very natural. People are just holding their cameras. IFG did what IFG does. He's just walking around talking and stuff. That's awesome. I love that. And everyone's was just unique and beautiful. And they weren't all the same video. I was afraid that like the first few I got were people with quarantining, and it was like, oh no, is this just going to turn into everybody's talking about quarantining? I guess I'm going to need to name this series YouTubers Talk About Why You Should Quarantine. But it didn't turn out that way. I think we had like 3 that talked about quarantine. But anyway, it's a huge mistake, and it's something that people need to know. So loved it. Very grateful to anyone that sent in a video. But the thing that I want to make very clear is just because you didn't see your favorite YouTuber in that series doesn't mean that they weren't asked, because they probably were, and either ignored me, told me no, or said yes and just weren't able to do it for whatever reason. Changed their mind or said, I don't have time for this crap, or whatever it is. I don't know. But anyway, if you don't know what we're talking about, below this video, click on my channel, go to videos, and you'll see the 2 very boring thumbnails. I got to do something about that. YouTuber, the biggest fish keeping mistakes made by YouTubers. Go watch those 2-part series. It's a lot of fun. It's probably 35 minutes to watch both of them, and you'll be glad that you did. It's absolutely awesome. So anyway, I do not have the shiniest head. Come on. The way I do the lighting in here is to not be shiny. I guess it's shiny right here, but anyway, stop making fun of me. Anyway, listen, folks, it's 11 o'clock, 11:07 my time, and I've had a lot of fun tonight, but it is time for me to hang it up. I want to go through, once again, all of these people are probably not here, but Miss Grumps, HV8019, Chad Krotz, Cody Metz, I can't... Jose Fernandez, Twin City Guppies, Jay Rich, Twin City Guppies, Tracy Walker, River Life, Brandon Bosick, Fit for Sure, Brandon Bosick again became a member, King and Queen Cichlids became a member, Tracy Walker again, Twin City Guppies again, Kiwa Twin City Guppies again, this is sounding like a broken record, and Duke City Aquariums. Thank you to all of those. Kangley, you didn't have to do all that, man. You've helped us out enough. I mean, this is a beautiful thing. So thank you to all of you who did this, who sent in super chats. You don't have to do that, but for whatever reason, you decide to do it, and it makes me feel so special. So listen, next week might be a problem too, because we have the regionals next week. We'll have to see how that goes. I'm not 100% sure where that is or what time it is or anything like that. So hopefully it doesn't jeopardize next week's stream, but we'll have to see what's going on with it. I will keep you posted in the community page about that. And that's it for now. I'm exhausted and I'm ready to crash. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you next week. This Sunday is 10 things every fish keeper should have. So you're going to want to watch that episode. Don't miss that. And I will see you next week.